So something has changed in the UK. And if you have been paying attention, you feel it as well. So for decades, Black Caribbean people were the main targets of racial tension. But today, it feels different. Now the spotlight seems to be on the Muslim communities, Asian communities. So the question is, are we safer now? Or is it just a pause before the cycle repeats? Let's talk about it. Because this conversation is uncomfortable, but also necessary. If you lived in the UK long enough, you have seen the shift. From the days of the Windrush scandals to moments like the Bristol riots, Black communities were front and center of racial hostilities. But today, the energy feels redirected, and some people are quietly asking, is this a relief? But let's be real. Right now in the UK, a lot of tension is focused on immigration, religion, cultural identity, and Muslim communities are at the center of it. You hear things like they're taking over, they don't integrate, there's too many of them. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Those same lines, they were used against Black people before. Different group, same script. So should Black Caribbean people feel relief? Honestly, that's a dangerous mindset because nothing has been fixed. It's just been redirected. Racism hasn't disappeared. It just found a new target. And history shows when pressure builds again, it can swing right back. So if you're feeling comfortable right now, you might be misunderstanding the moment. So let's not ignore something important. There is frustration among some white British communities. You see rapid changes in your cities. You see certain groups dominating sectors like delivery driving, taxi services, and call center, which are at the lower end of the job market, and majority of those are non-whites. And people start asking questions. But here's where we need clarity. That's not takeover. That's economic positioning. A lot of these are jobs others don't want or won't do under those conditions. So what looks like control is often just survival. Don't get me wrong, I do understand the frustration of the white British people. Because I can just imagine me growing up in Jamaica, and majority of us as Jamaicans, and then all of a sudden, you can, within a 10, 15-year period, I can receive more and more and more and more foreigners coming in. I would feel a bit uncomfortable, to be honest. Because just to give you an example, I remember over the summer last year, I went to a local park in Nottingham. And this area in Nottingham is not one of the areas where there is a majority of Asian communities or Black communities. It was one of those white areas. They're a middle class area called Woollerton. And I went to the park, and that area where I said majority of people live in that area are like older white people. And I remember in the park, and I remember this thought come to my mind. I was in the park, and I can tell you this, 90% of the parents and the kids that was on the park was Asians. And there was a few white people, and I remember thinking to myself, how they feel, the white person. Just imagine you go to the local park of where you live, and all you can see is just people that doesn't look like you, that doesn't live in the area, that would be scary. So I do get it. I do understand to an extent. As I said, if you can just check on any of them, go into any of the major cities and go on look at any of the lower end jobs, like the call center, the delivery drivers, all those jobs are done. Majority of them in those jobs are Asians. So I can understand they feel a bit threatened. I get it. But that's a job for the higher ups, whoever letting in the people in the country. So I get their side to an extent. But as I said, I remember history. I remember what they have what they have done, not just to the black people of the Caribbean and Africa, but also to the Middle East as well, in terms of the British. So is it? You get the point where they're talking about, is it a reparation type of thing where they're looking for trying to get out of the system what the system have taken out of them, or get out of Britain what Britain has taken from their countries. I don't know, but as I said, that's not the conversation I want to have. I want to talk about, should we feel a bit safer as black people in this country because the hate is not directed to us directly that much anymore. But one thing I know, when they see when you're not white, they group you in the same category. That's another thing as well. So where does that leave black people? Okay, that's what I want to discuss. Do we step back and say, not our fight, or do we stand in solidarity? Here's the reality. You don't have to agree with everything in another community to recognize injustice when you see it. Because if the system can target them today, it can target you tomorrow. This isn't about religion. It's not about culture. And it's not about patterns. What we're really seeing isn't just racism. It's pressure. Economic pressure. Identity pressure. Social pressure. And when that pressure builds, society looks for someone to blame. And right now, it's Muslims. Before that, it was black people. The question is, who's next? So no, this isn't a moment for relief. It's a moment for awareness. Because if history has taught us anything, is that racism doesn't disappear. It adapts. And if we don't recognize the pattern, we will keep living through it. So what do you think? Has racism really shifted in the UK? Or is it the same problem, just a different target? Drop your thoughts below and let's reason.